What's up, Dallas? It's your girl Rachel from What's Up Dallas magazine, and I have another amazing guest on my show today. Miss Gray, how are you?
I am great. How about you?
I'm doing fabulous. For the audience out there, I have been looking forward to speaking with Miss Gray about everything that she's got going on. And could you please tell our audience where to find you on social media first?
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. I have two pages. So I'm gonna tell you about my first one, Lumpy Grits Artistry, a literary and lyrical mix. You can find that on Facebook. Lumpy underscore grits. You can find that on IG. I am an artist myself, so you can also find my personal IG page, Cherie G the Prototype. You can find that on Instagram, and I have a website, www.cherieGtheprototype.com. So that leads you to all my social media pages. So those are my social media handles.
That's amazing. Please go like and subscribe and follow her. She's got so many nuggets, especially for those of you in the talent and industry, entertainment industry, acting, theater. She has so many years of experience, and we're just gonna go ahead and dive in on that.
Okay.
So, Miss Cherie, can you please tell our audience your history of how you got started in film and theater?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take it all the way back. So I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana, and as a child, my parents had me in a lot of things. I was in music. I started off in music at a very early age, piano at 5. I was in choir groups earlier than that at 5. I switched to violin in 4th grade. They sent me to performing arts schools. I went to performing arts school here, South Highlands. Um, we did school plays. When I hit 5th grade, we started doing community theater. And so I went to predominantly, as a Black student child, I went to predominantly white schools coming up. But when I went to community theater, I went to a predominantly Black theater company, which was one of the first Black theater companies here in Shreveport, Louisiana, which is theater performing arts. So I kind of got some of that aspect too, like my roots and stuff like that. I was in, different things, played in orchestra throughout high school and went to cosmetology school at the end. So I kind of got to work like, behind the scenes, like with hair and makeup and stuff. You just, like creating different stuff. So when I went to college, I went to Louisiana State University, I was already, working behind the scenes with like local productions and plays. And I came back to theater performing arts and they hired me to work costume, makeup, and hair. And so I was doing that and also doing community theater, working with children, helping writing, helping develop, like, say, for instance, if we was doing like Harlem Renaissance, I would, come in, do the research and, put the costumes together. So I wound up double majoring in undergrad, theater and history. So I got to combine my love of theater with history. And so I found that to be a moment where I could teach through art. And so I've been doing that ever since. Um, I, like I said, I graduated from LSUS in 2013 and I started my own company, Lumpy
Mhm.
Grits Artistry. And with Lumpy Grits Artistry, we was the newest. We're still kind of like the newest kids on the block. But what I strove to do was our slogan is bringing together artists from both sides of the track. And so what
Mhm.
that means is there's raw talent out there. Everybody doesn't go to school for, like, theater. They're not
Mhm.
able to go to field. You got people that are underserved communities that have talent, raw talent. So my thing was bringing all of these creative people together and creating works of art and incorporating not only just theater, culinary arts, visual arts, dance, music, all of those things. And so it was more of an experimental
Mhm.
theater. That's what we are. We do traditional theater, but we also push that wall, that box. We think out of the box. So when you come, anytime you come to see any of our shows, it's not the same. Like this past summer, no, I'm sorry, this past spring, we did Measure for Measure
Mhm.
Shakespeare, and we put a hip hop spin on it. A hip hop
Oh.
spin. We do stuff like that. we did we did Lysistrata back in 2018, which is a Greek play. So we do Greek, classical all the way up to contemporary things. And we um, took that on the road. We took that on tour in 2018. We went to Montgomery, Chicago, New Orleans, but it was an Afro Greek um, inspired show. And so we had food to go with it. So people who were able to come to the show, they got to experience not only a show, but they got to dress up and they got to eat food, like Greek inspired food and stuff like that. And then also learn about the history of, like theater. So the Dionysus, the god of wine, vine, and merriment. So we had wine and all of that stuff like that. So we just like to create experiences along with that. And so I'm gonna tell you this. I'm a theater person. And if you would have asked me if I liked film over theater before COVID, I would have said, "Oh, I'm so theater. I'm so theater." But I will say this: when 2020 hit, and we hit the pandemic, a lot of the stages went dark. You
Mhm.
understand? Stages went
Mhm.
dark. We wasn't able to, practice our craft the way we wanted to. So I was like reconsidering film. I was like, you know what? Let me revisit film. And I've been doing film ever since. I've been doing more film, I would say that, because before then I was working behind the scenes. They would call me in for, makeup and hair and stuff like that. But now I want to be in front of the the camera. And also with my company, I was explaining this to them too, that, we wasn't able to get on the stage, but um, we was able to film Electra in 2021. So we didn't stop. We didn't miss a season, but we did do a film aspect of our theater performances, in increments, and still staying safe at the same time. So yeah.
I love that. It's so
Mhm.
amazing that you're talking about doing historical theater and incorporating like the era that you're trying to have with each show. I think that is so unique and I believe that it's so it's so needed because
Mhm.
for the audience to understand like concept and also the era that you're doing the show in, they have to understand like the style and the look and the feel because yeah, like you were saying, like Greek food and like the Greek energy and that era was like an amazing era. It was like beauty. You had competition, you had the bronze, the brawny guys, and then you had
Mhm.
like the beautiful women who dressed up and just like were so amazing. So even the food was so really good. It's still good. So I love everything about what you're doing, especially in Shreveport. And thank you. Also, I really want to say this. Thank you for being one of our at one of our outside features for What's Up Dallas magazine. Because I mean, if What's Up Dallas magazine is reaching across the state borders, man,
Mhm.
that's amazing. That's amazing. And I'm so thankful that I'm thankful for you.
Thank
So
you.
yes, ma'am. So for our young audience out there, because I know there are some young talents who watch What's Up Dallas magazine because we love and give back to acting and young talents.
Mhm.
Um, could you tell them why you're so passionate about helping young people with your Lumpy Grits artistry business?
Why I'm so passionate working with young people. I was a young artist. I still consider myself young, but I think that the young imagination needs to be cultivated. I think that, some kids, they're not able to, everybody grows up different. I put it like that. Everybody doesn't have the same resources and stuff like that. Um, everybody's not, doesn't have access to, like books and some of their school programs, they don't have access to the arts.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yes.
don't. A lot of them take music out, some of them take theater out. They might have one or the other. And you
Mhm.
have all this talent and you have all this energy bound in school, and they really can't do anything with it. They can't express it. And when they're in the classroom, some of that energy is mistaken for, discipline
Right.
problems and stuff like that. And I don't see it like that. I'm like, they need an outlet. They can't sit down all day. So I hold workshops. I do charge for my workshops, but periodically I'll go to the library and I do community workshops. And I try to get, people from like the neighborhood and stuff like that, adult and children, but right now we're talking about children, just to expose them to the basic form of
Mhm.
theater. And when they come to my workshops and stuff like that, they're introduced to basic acting, basic theater, improvisation, just being able to think on their feet. And I tell them, even if they do not go into a career of theater or, want to be a professional actor on stage, there are other qualities and things that they can learn just from taking acting classes, just taking acting classes, just empathy, communication, collaboration, because with collaboration it's like a give and take.
Mhm.
I'm doing this, yes, and I'm doing this, I'm saying this, I accept, these things like that. That's those things that we learn in theater. And for my older youth, that's like 12, 13, and even the younger ones, I work with them on writing. We
Mhm.
might get together in a group and they come together in a group of 3 or 4 and they come together and write a short scene script. And they are talking to each other. Talking
Mhm.
to each other, they are saying, hey, this works, that works. They're learning to compromise. And
Mhm.
so that's why I think that, well, that's why I know
Mhm.
that theater and acting is important. It just introduces them to qualities that they can use throughout life, in the workforce, in school, or just wherever they go. Hmm.
Absolutely. And I agree with that. We also I went to a group called the Wolfettes Girl Empowerment Group here in Plano, Texas. And I
Okay.
got to work with those young ladies there, teaching them how to do public speaking, how
Mm.
to a new appreciation for improv, teaching them how to communicate, how to recognize and support, each other in their journeys. And
Mhm.
so I resonate with you that the youth is really needing that type of stuff, especially when they come from like housings and homes that don't have that connection, that love, that support, or you have like full-time parents who
Mm.
are working full-time jobs. It usually takes two jobs, maybe three to support a household
Mhm.
now. So all the families and those parents, they don't really have that one-on-one time. So,
Mhm.
what you're doing is you are giving them life skills without them even knowing they need them.
Yeah.
But it's teaching them how to public speak because that's amazing. Kids need to learn how to
Mhm.
talk to people in public. You're teaching them how to build their confidence. You're teaching them how to appreciate theater. You're teaching them how to appreciate film industry. And also, you're inspiring their imagination.
Mhm.
And that is so amazing because these young kids, they have so much like inspiration, so much talent, so much imagination. And I love that. You have a writer, you have somebody who may want to do the behind the scenes, the film, like the lights, the camera, the action, the soundboard. You have somebody that may want to direct. I mean,
Mhm.
you are really bringing this to the table for the kids, like to just figure out what they really want to do and their
Mhm.
passion. So kudos to you, girl. I
Mhm.
love that.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am. Like it's really amazing. I am so happy to have you on my show. Like you are
Thank
an
you.
inspiration to me.
I'm
Yes,
enjoying being on your show today.
thank you so much. Like I'm gonna have to come out to Shreveport sometime and show some love to your events if I ever
Yes,
get that way.
yes,
Um,
come this way. We have good food.
I know, I know. I've been to Shreveport several times, either passing through or I've stopped. It's a really, really large, network and large, what's that, metropolitan area. So
Mhm.
you have a lot to offer. And I know so many people from Shreveport already. So
Okay.
it's a really, it's really amazing. So I really want to talk to you about how people can get a hold of you, how they can book you for classes, like
Mhm.
how they can just, link up with you.
How they can link up with me. Well, right now we are getting ready for our 2003 2004 season.
Mhm.
We are doing African Mean Girls play. That's going to be in February. I also have the children's theater, children's children and youth theater that we're doing. So we're doing this year. We're going back to our roots, kind of how we did when we first started Lumpy Grits, a literary and lyrical mix, and those students are going to be doing like little short scenes, poetry, a little song, just a little bit, a mix of the arts and everything. Um, so we are still kind of open up to auditions.
Mhm.
But we're down to virtual auditions now, not in-person auditions. So it's like if they want to audition, they can email me at lumpygritsartistry@gmail.com, and it's lumpygritsartistry@gmail.com. So they can do that. Leave me a message. I am doing private acting coach lessons, so they can book me for that. Same email, just email me in the subject line, just put, private acting lessons and everything like that. If you have an audition coming up or character development or just even, articulation exercises. So I go through a lot of that with the students, the pronunciation and how to place the tongue and stuff like that. You can most definitely, like I said, send that to the email. Any of those, the social media handle sites that I mentioned at the beginning, you can always message me on there. Lumpy Grits, a literary and lyrical mix on Facebook. Lumpy_grits. Cherie G the prototype. So any of those. And I'm gonna go ahead and get my number out.
Yes.
um 318-426-3459. So you can always shoot me a text and everything and go from there. We would love to, we're inviting, you know, the people out Dallas, Shreveport, wherever this is reaching, we are, we're open. So, reach out to us and we would love to have you work with you.
Absolutely. Y'all better link up with her. If you don't, you're going to be disappointed. So I am just going to say that behind the scenes, before we started this interview, Miss Cherie was telling me that she is a poet as well. Is that
Mhm.
correct?
Yes,
So
I
tell
can.
me about that.
Well, I love writing. Um, I love directing and researching other plays and stuff. And I love writing poetry. So it'll be like it could be any time of the day. And I might get inspired, and I call it my muse. You know what a muse is? The Greek, the Greeks and the muses. So my muse might come, and it might be a bright like ray of sunshine that comes through my window early in the morning. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm just like overwhelmed. And it's like, oh, I have an idea and I have to write it down. And so I do that. Okay. So with the poetry, again, I'm from Shreveport. I love working on other people's projects as well. And so, poet laureate, we have a poet laureate here in Shreveport. His name is Poetic X. So I'm giving some shout outs. Poetic X. He has this speak poetry that he does, and he invites us out to like Cattle Common Park, and we deliver our poetry out there. I've been asked to do poetry other places. I have recorded some of my poetry and changed some of my poetry to songs. And so I was telling you about that earlier. You can actually find me on YouTube and under the Lumpy Grits page. And I have some of my recorded, one of my recorded works, How Dare You. I wrote that during 2020. Actually, I came to Dallas and recorded the music video with Huey Ross, and so he shot that in Dallas. So you can find it on YouTube. I if you don't mind, I can deliver some poetry today.
Go ahead. Go ahead. The platform is yours.
Yeah, I have let me see. Let me see.
This is your opportunity to shine to our audience. So
Yes, yes. I'm gonna pull some up that I've written, and um like I said, anytime people ask me to come do poetry, I'm so open to willing to do poetry. I love poetry. It's just a way for me to express myself outside of my other form of theater and
sure.
everything. And
Yeah.
it's like my outlet. It really is my outlet. So and I encourage that too. Some of us can be caught up in our just like um just like if we're acting, we're caught up in our action. And I just encourage other people, like find some other stuff to do. Like I might pick my violin up one day. It's just so fun to do that. Give me a minute really quick. I'm gonna pull
You
this
may
up
take
really
all the time you need. So
quick.
I am just
Hmm.
like elated to get to know you. I know spoken word poetry is really big here in DFW. So
Okay.
you also have the same platform in Shreveport. You have like places where you can do
We
spoken word.
do. Give another shout out. We have Works Over Latte, which they're getting ready to celebrate their 13th. And so that's a platform on Monday nights. It's like one of the longest running um poetry platforms here in Shreveport, Louisiana. So on Monday nights, people come and do their poetry, their singing, all of those things. And yeah,
That's really cool. It's really cool.
yeah.
I'm a very artistic person myself. So whenever I meet another like-minded individual, it's like I could talk to you for hours. I'm sure I could.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me see.
And I do love.
And while I'm pulling this up, some of the children. I know you say you have some young artists.
Mhm.
Um, we are working on one of the children's theater plays we did this season was Anansi the Spider. So we go back to our roots, our cultural roots, and
Mhm.
do Anansi the Spider. My daughter, she actually wrote some lyrics for that this year. And so it was like a call and response between Inyame, the god, and Anansi. And so I just thought that was really cute. We're actually going to do it again with another cast, with our
Mhm.
newer cast this season. So that's something we're going to kind of do in February as well. So I'm really excited about the new people that we brought in and what they're going to be doing in February. And then sometimes we get the children to work um, with the adults and
Mhm.
everything. So just to kind of get them to see
Yeah.
uh,
Get
how it is
comfortable
to
with
work
adult
as an
actors.
adult, as a professional artist. Yeah.
Yes. Which is
So.
very important. You got to teach them that they got to learn how to work with other people as well. Especially
Yeah.
like if you're looking for commercials or TV show or acting, like for a movie or something, they're gonna have
Mhm.
some adults that are on the set with them. So might as
Oh
well
yeah.
learn too.
Yeah. Give me a minute.
That's perfectly fine, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just looking over your Instagram and I'm just like, I love that you are just doing so much and you're offering this for people who really need it or they need to learn. They want to learn. You do
Hmm.
everything sure they want to learn how to do this stuff. So that's great. I love that.
um. Let's see. So I was trying to find my black ink coin that I
Hmm.
have. But this collection is called Cathartica Unleashed. Um,
It sounds so exotic.
yeah, Cathartica Unleashed.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm going to let's see. I'm gonna read something from this. Um, so here's one. This thing called life. I'm just passing through this thing called life. Waking up every morning is not guaranteed. Mother always told me there will be times of strife. Always pray and be thankful for what I have before me, and that I shall succeed. I'm just passing through this thing called life. Sometimes I feel like I've been here before, in another life, like I was born in the wrong place at the wrong time, but no mistakes have been made. I'm here. I'm just passing through this thing called life.
I
So that's
love,
one.
I love that. We're
Yes.
all just
Uh,
passing through this thing called life. That's true.
yeah. So that's one. And um, let's see. I'm gonna pull this one up. I want to do black ink. Black ink is one of my latest ones,
Hmm.
but might not be able to get to it today. But let's see. Okay, here it is. I have it. Hey, how are
Yay!
you? So black ink. Black ink scratched on a delicate napkin, liquid bursting through a tubular mechanism, gliding gracefully across the fine parallel lines that create an even rigid surface. Like a needle on a grooved record, it creates a marked memory. Graceful lines and circles kiss at a mutual point, hesitant, thoughtful, but an irresistible urge to pick up and place down energy, forming a marriage of characters, a family of sounds, birthing words, sentences, ideas, plots, to be eventually embedded and engraved and carried out deep in the mind, conscious of existing like a family photo. Pursed, partial, puckered lips, pushing plosives, spoken out loud, evoking a reaction to the writer. Intimate, isolating, intentional thoughts, pausing as black ink scratched on a delicate napkin, liquid flow begins to skip a beat, and only an indentation of allied thoughts left undone. Liquid flow is no longer bursting, but only tiny metal eyes dried out, staring down at the bottom corner of this napkin, glancing upward at the alliances that were forged, scratched out, dissolved alliances, holes that were created in attempting to force a union of characters. Napkin squares so delicate and sweet, I think that I'll go home and sweet. Carefully fold you up in four, placing you in my purse's core. Oops, oh no, my pen's ink well ran dry. Revisit and unfold these thoughts. Until that time again, goodbye. So that's
I love
black ink.
that. No, I think that's so amazing. Like the whole time that you were reading that, I was
Mhm.
envisioning either the thoughts of a writer or a poet, like just how lyrical that sounded and how well that was laid out. It's
Thank
like
you.
literally you were connecting the pen and the words, and you were
Yeah.
connecting the mood and the whole what's the word, internal process of putting ink to paper, and
Mhm.
that was amazing. I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you. And that's
You're
all.
very, no, that's
That's
great.
my thing. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I would love to talk to you for like, another 30 minutes or so, but Zoom says I can't right now. So Um, for those out there that are maybe would like you at their spoken poetry slams or anything like that, how can they book you or how can they find you directly?
Okay. You can again find me on you can email me. Lumpy Grits, Lumpy Grits, I'm sorry, Lumpy Grits Artistry at gmail.com, or you can call me 318-426-3459, and you can book me like that. Hmm.
Perfect, because I have so many also lyrical poets that have interviewed too on this
Okay.
channel. Actually,
And
follow
that's
my
my
page.
company. That's my
Yes,
company, but my artist name is Cherie G, the prototype. So they would have to ask for me as far
that's
as coming out and
amazing.
performing. Hmm.
Yes, of course. Like I think it's great. I would like to again applaud you for what you're doing and the platform that you're giving everybody. And then also just for your flowers, for just being an inspiration to so many people out there. Your love for history, for theater, for film, for helping young talents, adults as well, for going out in the community and reaching those people who may have this interest but never knew how to get it. And then
Hmm.
also for your amazing poetry. I'm gonna give you your flowers right now. So
Thank
girl,
you. Thank you. Thank
yes.
you. Appreciate
So
it.
all right. So audience out there, please go follow her on all her social media, lumpy_grits, but also follow us, What's Up Dallas Magazine. We are all over social media and the internet. So just Google me, What's Up Dallas Magazine, and you'll find me. So again, we'll see you soon for another episode of What's Up Dallas Magazine. Bye, Miss Gray.
Bye.